Dr. Janet and Miss Gloria, please stay on the screen. We are about to go through the arts-based research piece, the three pieces that sit in the middle of the Omni process. And as you are giving your answers, I invite the audience to think about these three steps because you will be doing these three steps. This is interactive, remember. So whether you put it in the chat or you put it on a piece of paper and you want to read it out loud, but this is interactive. Step number 2 of the Omni process is eco-mindfulness. Within eco-mindfulness, we're thinking of eco as in environment, mindfulness as in presence with our senses. What are we hearing? What are we seeing? What are we smelling? What are we touching and feeling? So, in terms of eco-mindfulness, Dr. Janet, I invite you to go back to Sarasota and talk about any of those connections to the senses and bring the audience to Sarasota with you.
Sarasota brought me a new level of peace because it was literally loaded with trees. I don't think I've ever seen that many trees anywhere unless it was a forest, and that was a miniature forest. And as I walked through the trees, I felt such a sense of healing, such a sense of peace. I could actually hear my father talking to me because he loved the outdoors, always planted gardens. We always had tons of trees in our yard, etc. Even though there was some stigmatized sense towards trees, we were taught to see the trees as healers and givers of life and restoration within the process of being within nature. And so I honor all of that space and all of that knowledge with him and thoroughly enjoyed the process. I took some selfies while I was out there, and they're actually some of the best selfies of my life. And yep, that's me. And I actually ended up having, I'm using them now, as a matter of fact, as part of my, online presence and various things, just because I like seeing that greenery. Even seeing that picture takes me back to the days in Sarasota where there was such peace, such joy.
Mm.
Yeah, and I felt like I'd come full circle, if there's such a thing. Did
Thank
I beg your pardon?
No, I was like, just the idea of coming full circle at 71. I love that concept with trees. So go
Well,
ahead.
yeah, because we live lives that are primarily Western constructed, based on what we're supposed to do, what we think we need to do, what should happen, etc. And in that moment, my spirit felt completely unrestrained and completely at peace and centered within those trees. And I actually couldn't get enough of them. Every few feet, I was stopping to snap a pic because there was just so much joy in those trees. And then as I walked back, because I actually went away to a little building so I could process the information right away and started writing. When I finished my writing, I actually came back and I remember I sort of strolled back to the cottage we were staying in because I was busy thanking the trees for what they had done for me and honoring their time and my space and place and the feeling of wholeness I had and the feeling of rejuvenation that I had. And it was sort of like the encouragement I needed at this age to keep going,
Mm,
literally.
mm,
Because once you start to age, there are days when you don't feel like doing anything.
mm.
And I can think about those trees now, and all of a sudden I've got a fire going. I'm ready. I'm up at 5 o'clock in the morning thinking I'm going to be on the, Gail King set of CBS News or something and doing the whole thing. Okay. So, and that's the energy I want to have as I age. I don't want to be one of those people that looks like my mother. And there is nothing wrong with my mother. But again, that was the archetype of that era where once people got old, they cut off all their hair and, wore these moo dresses that would fit, a tree, literally, and they sort of just settled into what was and what is for them in that space instead of looking beyond what is in front of them. And as a scholar, I pride myself on never looking at what is right in front of me, but always having and entertaining the concept that there can be many truths. And it's my job as a person here on earth to try to acknowledge, find, and see what I can do with all of this information.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
So that is step number one for eco-mindfulness. Before I go to Miss Gloria for step number two, I invite the audience. I want you to transport yourself. And it could even be right now, and you're looking outside and you see your trees, but tap into your senses. What are you seeing? What are you hearing? And give us a couple sentences in the chat, please. And then Jovan will read that for us and we'll continue on.
The response from Carla saying gratitude. You feel that? And Maria
Mhm.
Claire, it's gray and rainy here, but I'm feeling uplifted. Oh, we're glad you're feeling uplifted, even though you're in
Yeah.
a gray and rainy weather. We're glad we're bringing that warmth to you. The sounds of trees swishing. Yes.
Thank you for reading those. That
Mhm.
three people. Anybody else want to chime in? All right. The students want to chime in? What you're seeing, what you're hearing, what you're feeling, what you're touching, what's touching you.
We are like near nature right now, but I'm just thinking of like the outside because today is quite gloomy and it's a bit cold out. But on the way here to this art studio, I could hear like a lot of trees swishing. So
Oh, thank you. When we do that, when we share that space of eco-mindfulness, we're all able to be transported to where you are. And I want to make sure that this stays interactive. So that's why we're asking you questions to get involved with the steps of the Omni process. And thank you for just telling us where you are and what you're feeling. Step number two might be a little
Oh,
more challenging. So
oh,
I'm
we
going
have another message
yeah.
if we want to include that from Annabelle. You're saying it's raining, and I can see the through the boughs of ash and oak trees moving against the wind. I can hear the magpies calling to each other outside. Oh, you're giving us a full imagery. I'm loving this.
Yeah. Good.
Yes. Thank you. Oh, hello, hello, welcome.
And I've just come in to check in and how's it going?
Wonderful. Thank you so very much for joining us. What is your
So
name?
Manya, Manya,
Manya.
Manya.
Manya. Thank you so very much for joining us. I don't know if
Okay.
you heard the first step. Did you hear any of the first or second step of the Omni process?
A little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Would you like to join in on step number two of eco mindfulness?
Yeah, yeah, sure. Yeah.
What are you hearing in nature right now, or touching or smelling? Bring us in.
Like right now, what am I experiencing?
Yes.
Well, I can smell the paint in the room right now.
That's real. That's real. Thank you for bringing that forward because one of these times, I don't remember because I do the Omni process frequently, I couldn't smell anything. I was congested. So there are times, even when it's, well, what do you smell? When you're tapping into all your senses, what do you smell? Sometimes the answer is nothing. Sometimes the answer is paint. Sometimes you're outdoors and you want to smell Mother Earth, but you're smelling the environment, which is not as beautiful as what you are seeing. So when we're just thinking about environmental justice, what about our smell? So this all ties in together. And so, Carla, when you're working on that dissertation, tap into the eco mindfulness. I'm always going to come back to that, Dr. Carla.
I
All right,
understand.
thank you. All right, step number, was there something else that came up in the chat?
Yes, we have one from Serena Law. To live in the countryside, feeling connected to nature, the light, the greenery, no matter the weather.
Mm.
I love
Okay.
that.
Now, Jovan, did you tell them about step number four? Or did you already tell them? Because I feel like they know what I'm about to talk about before I'm talking about it. Making sure that he didn't give y'all the secrets because step number four of this five-step journey is love letter writing. And I feel like y'all are already writing love letters in your answers. So if you're doing that on purpose, well done. Well done. If you're doing it on accident, well done.